Well, into Gladstone to fix something again. I've just pulled the headsail off the boat this morning, and the problem I've got, the sail furls up on a top swivel. The seal on that's missing a bit. That's pretty tight, but the bottom drum is very tight on the bearing there, so it's not turning freely. And I'm a bit fortunate because I've got Darren from the yacht rigger is coming to Gladstone today, so he's going to come and give me a hand to get this foil off. I've got to drop the whole head stay, and I'll take these bearings off and try and fix them. Apparently the bearings and the seals are all standard parts you can buy at a bearing service mob, so we'll have a go at pulling it apart and trying to repair it. So that's the job for this time. Well, we don't wear skimpy bikinis. Hell, it frightens me when I take my shirt off. There's definitely no one pregnant here. This is motor sailing for old dudes. We do live on a boat, and we do cruise extensively along the Australian coast. Join us and visit some great destinations. Learn how to look after a boat and live off grid. It might even get you enthused to do the same thing. Hey, stay out there till you can't. Well, I'm pretty lucky. I've got Darren from the yacht rigger. He's in Gladstone today, and I was so lucky I rang him up and he said he was up here, so he's going to come down and give me a hand. We're going to drop the head stay off and slip this unit. This bearing is really tight, so it's shag. So we're going to drop this unit off and then try and repair it. So I was so lucky that Darren was in the area.
Like I say, mate, generally what I do is I just buy the new units, you know, and just replace the whole unit.
Can you buy these units though?
Yes, yeah, you can buy the whole style. I just get it from Gary Saxby, mate.
Oh.
So before you get, maybe what you should do is get her off,
yeah,
then give Gary a call and go, hey mate, Darren, I've pulled this off, I need a swivel, I need a bottom end,
yeah,
how much brand new,
yeah,
and then how much roll, mate, and just work out whether you, because if you buy brand new, you're going to get the same, you know.
Well,
same.
you get 15 years.
That's right, mate.
That lasts me, eh?
Probably.
God, you're hard.
So what we don't want to do is, depends on what's Ian's done for you as far as king goes, mate. Yeah,
Okay, so the furler needs addressing. The bearings are very tight, a bit notchy, so before it gets really bad and the sail gets jammed out or whatever, I'm going to replace the bearings. I had a good run out of them. They've been on the boat for 10 years and I bought it second hand, so it's probably 15, could be even older than that, 15 years old. So we're going to have a look at doing this. Now I can I got onto the Pro Furler agent in Queensland. He's really good, but they don't supply parts for the actual furling drum or the you could supply me a bearing kit, so I know where I can get a bearing kit, so that'll be bearings and seals. But he was suggesting I buy a complete new furler. Now, complete new furler is about $3,000 worth. It's a fair bit of money. And look, the foils are good. Everything else about the furler is okay. It's just the bearings and seals that need replacing. And done a bit of research on YouTube, and they're saying that the newer furlers are a bit lighter in manufacture than the old furlers are. So I think if I replace the bearings and seals in these units, it's going to get me going again and out of trouble. The problem is I sort of might need a press to press things apart. I'm going to have to muck around a little bit, and what I've decided to do, I'm going to the people at the marina are going to take me out to the airport today. We're going to hire a car, and I'm going to drive that down to Brisbane and see my mate Bruce. Good old Brucey. I'll go down there and we'll pull it apart in the next couple of days. Apparently the bearings and the seals are just standard parts you can buy at any bearing service company, so we'll organise that and put it back together. Then we'll drive back up and I'll install it and get the furler working again. I probably would have done a little bit more, but you just worry about it, because if I get that sail out, it's quite a big sail. If I get it out and can't get it back in, you know, it can really overpower the boat and be a problem. So it'll be good to get it a bit of maintenance done on this Pro Furler setup. So we'll do that. I'd like to thank Darren very much, because he did a great job. He came down and pulled it all apart yesterday, and he really knows what he's doing. So anyone that's looking at getting some rigging done, and he does travel a little bit, so he's based in around Brisbane, but he does travel up to Gladstone, probably further if you want. And he is a top man, really knows what he's doing, and does a great job too. So here's our little Kia rental.
And we're off to Brisbane. We're going to stay at my house. My house. Yeah, just proving that Norm can drive something other than a boat. How you going there, Norm?
We there yet?
We there yet? No. Only 400 k's to go.
Only 400. Big state, Queensland, eh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, well, this has been a 2 coffee trip
So far.
so far.
There's still 3.5 hours to go.
And I've been informed that I'm driving too fast.
Much prefer you driving a boat. 6 knots, 7 knots is absolutely fine.
I'd much prefer to be driving a boat myself. Chauffeur driven to Brucey's.
Chauffeur driven to Brucey's, yeah. Chauffeur driven in the Merc.
The Merc. We're off to Brucey's A2. Had a good sleep at Monica's last night. Really needed it after driving down. But yeah, short drive this morning to Bruce's, and we'll pull this bearing apart. Okay, at Brucey's, and we're going to pull the bearings out of the swivel from the top of the mast and the bearing around the drum as well, and replace those bearings. Now, Bruce is going to give me a hand. He will give you an overview of it, but there's some really good stuff on YouTube. There's a really good video I found on how to do this, and I'll put a link to it in the description if you like. Probably the best way of doing it. So a couple of circlips to get out, and I went and bought some good size circlip pliers. You need an inside and outside set of circlip pliers, and this is important because you don't want to damage the shafts and the collars getting these things out. So you need to do them with circlip pliers, because if you damage the seal faces on these things, you won't be able to replace them, because, well, this is an older model and it's not, the spare parts aren't available. So there's the circlip out, and you can see that's a really easy way of doing it. Now, okay, reassembly. 2 bearings, $75. 4 seals, $53. A lot cheaper than $3,000 for the whole unit. So what we're going to do now is just put it back together. We might film that for you, because this is the way we're going to do it anyway. What Bruce is doing now is just packing the bearings. So we've got a good waterproof marine grease, and we're just pushing that into the bearing. When you're buying these bearings, don't be encouraged to buy stainless steel ones, because Profil say that the stainless steel ones get hard spots in them. You're better off, apparently the carbon steel ones that these ones are harder than the stainless ones. So you should just have an open faced carbon steel bearing, not a sealed bearing either. The sealed bearings are a little bit stiffer, and you can have problems with them. So just an open face carbon steel bearing, and I've found that they are starting to be a little bit hard to get. There's only about 7 of these in Australia apparently, so something to be aware of. So we're packing the bearings, so we're putting plenty of grease in around the ball race there, and we're packing inside the seals.
What you want to try and achieve is
good. So that's what you call a press fit. So that's pressed in there, so the inner part of that race can still run, but the outer part of the race is held by being a press fit in the housing. So it's right down onto its seat in the back there. You might be able to see that. We're having a bit of trouble with this when we fill it with grease and try and push the seal in. It gets a hydraulic lock in there, and got to be able to let the air out. That's why those little ball bearings are in the side of it. There've been holes that would let the air out, and then they've pushed the ball bearings in to seal it up. So to overcome the problem of the whole pack becoming hydraulically locked, it would pay to drill a couple of small holes next to the ball bearings you can see pushed into the side of the housing. Tap those holes, and then you could push the seals in. That would let all the air out, and then when you finish you could put a screw, a stainless steel screw, back into the housing. If I was doing it again, I'd definitely do it this way, because we did have a lot of trouble getting the seals back in with all of that air in between the two sets of seals. Well, that was a lot harder than we thought So yeah, something you want to think about if you're going to do it, and maybe get it to someone that's done it before. Big problem we had was getting air out of the assembly when you put the two seals together. A lot of air in there, and that was our big problem. But anyway, we've got it back together and it should be okay. So back up to Gladstone, put it back on the boat, I guess. Thanks, Bruce. Thanks again.
And there's Normie.
It's been a lovely day. All we've got to do is drive all the way back to Gladstone now.
Yeah.
This is just a bit of tape we put on to mark the forestay length, so we're back up to that now. Now, what I've got to do is bring this down and sit it over the top of here. And this bit of tape was holding this pin in, because you don't want that to drop out when it's unloaded. So, get all that off. So all we've got to do now is put the drum back on. We've got the foil up, top swivels on, don't forget to put that on when you're doing it. The drum swivels on. We're just running the furling rope through, that's got to go onto the drum, and the drum's got to go down in there and be locked on. That's all pretty simple. And then we can bend the sail back on, I guess.
No, new Furler.
Oh, new Furler.
No, he fixed it. He put new bearings and seals
I
in
just
it.
rebuilt it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That'll be right.
The last one, this is the one you always drop. Must be time for coffee. Job finished, sail back on the forestay. It was going to cost $3,000 for a new furler, a complete new system. The furler's in pretty good nick. All I did was replace 2 bearings and 4 seals. It cost me about $120. And a trip to Brisbane, hire car. I'm glad I did that because it was a lot easier doing it down at Bruce's on his bench. But anyway, job's done. We're back in action. We can motor sail again. With the furler fixed, we head out of the marina at Gladstone and out through the north entrance into the harbour. We spend the night at the Oaks, a very pleasant anchorage, and then the next morning have a great motor sail up to Cape Capricorn and then around into Yellow Patch. We were going to spend a week, but unfortunately Parks chased us out as they were shooting wild pigs. So we went to Hummocky, cooked some crabs, ate them on the beach and had a really pleasant anchorage before heading on to Great Keppel Island. See you next week, dudes.